There is a common theme that runs through our three readings for today. And that theme is simply this: God is telling us to be a faithful servant and to expect no recompense for that. We should seek to use the talents and gifts which God has given us for the good of those around us. Certain individuals are gifted with specific qualities that others do not have. Now, they receive these gifts from God. People who use these special abilities for their own benefit have gifts, but a charism is the God-given skill which one uses for the good of others or is used in the service of others. Being faithful is not always easy, but it is our duty as disciples of Jesus to be just that. Now, in our first reading, Habakkuk, the prophet, is questioning God, and he's concerned about this impending threat that he sees, that is gifted to him, his visions of the kingdom of Judah being attacked by the Babylonian forces. He questions God. Why? God responds by telling Habakkuk to faithfully await the coming of God's saving plan. In other words, be the faithful servant that you are, and go out and tell the people what I have told you to tell them. Now, this is just before Nebuchadnezzar's invasion of the southern kingdom of Judah. Habakkuk, as I said, now senses this coming and impending disaster, and he's asking God why. Why should this befall his people? God is instructing him to announce the impending destruction. God will ultimately be faithful to this divine promises made long ago to bring salvation to the people. Those who are faithful will have to wait and experience suffering until the fulfillment of these promises. Now, turning to our second reading, St. Paul, in his letter to Timothy, urges him as well to remain faithful to his calling. This calling that he received from God was sacramentalized by Paul himself, by the imposition of his hands on Timothy through the rite of ordination. God is the one who gives the spirit of empowerment, and he will see Timothy through as Timothy remains faithful to his calling. Let's turn now to the gospel. Jesus speaks about the power of one who is faithful and the calling of faithful servants to do what is expected of them and not to expect rewards for doing what is required. The disciples had asked for a deepening of their faith. Jesus instructs his disciples that as their faith deepens, they will see great things happen. He then goes on to remind them that they are called to be faithful servants who must do the will of their master. They should not think that they will be rewarded for doing their duty, for it is their duty as servants of Jesus. Now, my friends, all who become disciples of Jesus are called to be of service to others. It is our duty to listen to God's voice and to respond faithfully. The call to be a servant leader is not just for those who are ordained as deacons, ordained as priests, or as ordained as bishops, but it is a call for all of us who are baptized. We are to serve those whom God commits to our care. Jesus calls us to refocus our attention. Just because we do what God expects us to do, we are not going to be welcomed into the heavenly kingdom. God will lavishly bless us and will give us gifts beyond our imagination, but not because we are dutiful and faithful, but because the Lord is a faithful God who has promised to pour out abundantly riches and life upon those who respond to his divine call. We should do all that is expected of us in thanksgiving for what Jesus has already given us, a closer relationship with God. As our psalm says today, oh, that today you would hear God's voice. Harden not your hearts.